The fall season brings with it the most stacked period of game releases that you'll see throughout the year, and while so many of us are excited for games like Red Dead Redemption 2, Fallout 76, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, there are also this influx of games that not a lot of people are talking about, and that's what I want to cover in this video. Namely, I want to take a look at the top 10 underrated PS4 games for the rest of 2018 that not a lot of people are talking about, some more so than others, but when you look at a game like RDR2 or Fallout 76, these games are paling in comparison to hype, and they're games I feel the gaming community needs to be talking more about. So without further ado, let's get right into it, and let's start things off with a PlayStation 4 exclusive. Yes, Marvel's Spider-Man is not the last exclusive. There's another game a part of an iconic franchise, and that is Tetris Effect. This could be one of the sleeper PlayStation 4 games of the year. Not only is it a PlayStation 4 game, but it also will have a PSVR element attached to it. And I know that turns off some people right away, but from everything that I've heard, the VR in Tetris Effect is done so well that it might add another great element to the foundation of the game. Now, if you want to use traditional controls, of course you can do that. And what is Tetris Effect? Well, it has your core Tetris gameplay, but it's got this incredible visual style, incredible music, and it is being worked on by Tetsuya Mizugachi, who is a longtime game developer, and he's gonna add his own flair to the game. Tetris is already known as a very addictive experience, and I think when Tetris Effect releases, it's just going to make it even more addicting. Tetris Effect is dropping November 9th. Next up, we have Omen of Sorrow. Another game hardly anyone is talking about is Omen of Sorrow, touted as a classic 2D 4-button fighting game powered by the Unreal Engine 4. It features a smaller cast of 12 characters, but they're all inspired by classical horror, fantasy, and mythology, and they've got their own unique styles. It has a battle system designed from the ground up to leverage player skill, rather than stats or random chance, featuring deep combat mechanics that favor movement and spacing over tight execution to provide an engaging experience for pros and newcomers alike. Omen of Sorrow also has a very slick art style. It'll be dropping on November 6th. Next up, we have Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise. The release of Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise is quickly approaching, and this is a game that is very similar to a Yakuza game. Many are saying it's Fist of the North Star with Yakuza-style gameplay, and me saying that, if you know what Fist of the North Star is, that probably gets you really excited. And it's kind of that game I never knew I wanted, but based on playing the demo, seeing more gameplay footage, this is another title shaping up to be a sleeper hit. It'll be dropping on October 2nd, so not too long away from the release of Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise. Let's move on from one anime game to another one. One of the most popular anime in the world today is making its first foray into the video game realm with My Hero One's Justice. Of course, this is related to My Hero Academia, and the only unfortunate part about this game, because I have to say how this game is shaping up, it's looking to be a really good fighting game with some destructibility. It's got all the fan favorite characters from the heroes and the villains, got some slick presentation. The only thing I can see holding My Hero One's Justice back is the fact that it's being released on October 26th. If you're living under a rock, October 26th is also the day the biggest game of the year releases, Red Dead Redemption 2. So My Hero Academia going one-on-one with Red Dead Redemption 2, that's a little funny to me. I'm sure Bandai Namco didn't plan that out meticulously, but hopefully My Hero One's Justice still resonates with the gaming audience, and this is an anime that's been gaining a lot of traction. We just had the movie, the anime's doing really well, and hopefully the video game can follow suit on October 26th. Next up, we have Darksiders 3. Yes, Darksiders is finally coming back with Darksiders 3. THQ Nordic is putting out, and Darksiders 3 was a game that when it was initially announced, and when we first saw gameplay of it, I wasn't completely sold, and that's coming from somebody that was a big fan of the first two games. The initial Darksiders 3 gameplay just looked very sloppy, very unpolished, but as more and more gameplay was released, and the recent gameplay has shown that this game is shaping up very nicely. The action combat looks a lot better, it looks a lot more polished, and that's what you expect. More time passed, and obviously they put more work into the game, but now I'm seeing Darksiders 3 from what it should have been from the get-go, a potentially great action-adventure game, and if you never played the first two Darksiders games, you did yourself a disservice with that. They are ported over to the PlayStation 4, and you can get them very cheap, so make sure you play those two titles. Darksiders 3 is looking really good, and even as the third entry of a notable franchise, not a lot of hype surrounding it with this one, but it will be dropping on November 27th. Next up, we have a JRPG remaster that I've been talking about quite a bit recently, and that is The Last Remnant Remastered. Now, if you don't know what The Last Remnant is, and I really can't blame you, this was actually a JRPG that was exclusively released on the Xbox 360. Yeah, you can't say that about a lot of JRPGs. Being an Xbox 360 exclusive, a console that was really never accepted over in Japan. It was later ported over to PC, but it never gained immense commercial reception. However, I thought the game was pretty good. It had some very interesting combat mechanics, even though some of the battles in this game lasted way too long, and I'm sure that won't be fixed in this remaster, which is kind of unfortunate, but based on the gameplay that I've seen of the remastered version, it's looking pretty good from a visual standpoint. And bear in mind that this is a 10-year-old game, so me saying that goes to show that Square Enix made quite a few refinements in this. This version will also include a turbo mode and all of the enhancements that were made in the PC version. The Last Remnant Remastered will be dropping on the PlayStation 4 on December 6th. Next up, we have Mark of the Ninja Remastered. Now, I don't even know if people know that Mark of the Ninja is coming to the PlayStation 4. There are probably a lot of you that have never even heard of Mark of the Ninja, and that's unfortunate because it is an awesome game. It's a slick 2D side-scrolling stealth action-adventure game with an awesome art style. This art style is one of the best that you're gonna come across in a video game, and this is why I've always said that an art style in a game is so important, because it allows games like Mark of the Ninja and other titles like Bastion to hold up really well throughout the years. That now that Mark of the Ninja is being remastered for the PlayStation 4, it still holds up really well. Again, outside of the great animations, you had challenging gameplay that didn't get overbearing. I never thought it was too difficult, but the stealth mechanics were done very well in Mark of the Ninja. We still don't have an official release date for Mark of the Ninja Remastered, but it is listed for this fall. Next up, we have Earth Defense Force 5. Yes, Earth Defense Force is coming out with another game on the PlayStation 4, and that's not it. We have another Earth Defense Force game coming out after this, Earth Defense Force Iron Rain. That'll be coming out sometime later on, but Earth Defense Force 5 will be hitting before the end of the year, and it touts more than 100 missions in 5 difficulties and 1,000 usable weapons. There's a 2-player co-op mode, and best of all, you can play it on a single screen, and all missions can be played in online co-op as well with up to 4 players. Earth Defense Force has always been a very fun third-person shooter that doesn't take itself all too seriously, but at the same time, if we're talking pure fun factor, Earth Defense Force 5 has got that in spades. It is being released at $59.99, which I think is a little bit high of a price point. I would have liked to see a $39.99 or a $49.99 price point, but hey, can't get everything that I want. Earth Defense Force 5 will be dropping on December 11th. Next up, I definitely want to give a mention to Persona Dancing Endless Night Collection. Now, if you don't know what the Persona Dancing games are, there's only been one Persona Dancing game released in the past, and that was the Persona 4 Dancing iteration. This collection will include a Persona 3 and Persona 5 Dancing title. However, with this collection, you also get that Persona 4 Dancing game that was exclusively released on the PlayStation Vita. Now, I do have to mention, this collection does come in at a hefty $100, but you can buy the game separately as well. However, I believe separately they're going for $49.99, so I think the best option is just get the collection. You get both games and you get Persona 4 Dancing. That's a great value, and at that point you're paying just a little over $30 for each game. And on top of that, with this collection you do get some other collectibles, so for a Persona fan, which Persona fans are the only ones buying this, it's going to be a great buy. Now, the game itself is a very quirky music rhythm game. It has all of the great tunes from the Persona games, and the music in the Persona games is actually one of the underrated elements of Persona. Persona is always commended for the great storytelling, great turn-based combat, great art style, but just as good as all of those elements is the music, and it's really encapsulated in the dancing games. And Persona Dancing the Endless Night Collection will be dropping on December 4th. And lastly, we have Call of Cthulhu, the official video game. Now, I had known that Call of Cthulhu was getting an official video game, but I wasn't completely sold on it based on the descriptions, but then we finally got some in-depth gameplay on it, and it is looking very good. It really embodies that eerie setting that it needed to go for. And if you're unfamiliar with it, the game follows investigator Edward Pierce, who is a private detective in a crisis. Boston 1924 doesn't provide him with any cases. The war veteran flees into consuming alcohol and pills. However, there's a glimmer of hope when a mysterious case one day lands on his desk. He's tasked to solve the death of the Hawkins family, who mysteriously died in a fire. Expect a lot of mystery and heart-pounding moments as Call of Cthulhu, the official video game, drops on October 30th.
Your journey is just beginning.
So that's gonna conclude this video. These are just some of the underrated games that are coming out for the rest of the year on the PlayStation 4. There are a ton more titles, so if you'd like to see another video taking a look at some other underrated titles, because again, there are a lot of games coming out, and I know all of you are picking up Red Dead Redemption 2, a lot of you are probably picking up Fallout 76, but there are gonna be a lot of other games to supplement those releases, and they're games you guys need to know about. So that's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.